really comfortable with that, I want to make sure you do it the right way. Okay. Let's talk about solving this algebraically for the first time in this whole course. Let's do some algebra. All right, so we've got 3t minus 7 equals 5t. Okay, we're going to solve it. Solve for t here, okay? Now let me remind you, those of you that are going to solve this algebraically, the golden rule of algebra, okay? The golden rule of algebra is what you do to one side of the equation, you must do to the other side of the equation. And as long as you do that, you get a true statement. If I multiply one side, the whole side by -2, and I multiply the other side by -2, I get a true statement. If I multiply one side by 1, multiply the other side by 1, I get a true statement. If I multiply one side by 0 and the other side by 0, I get a true statement. Still, or at least the equation is still true for some value, for the value of t. So we just got to make sure that whatever operation we do here, we do to both sides. That's the key. Okay. Now, when we're trying to isolate a variable, we're trying to solve for a variable, like we're trying to solve for t. The general theme is we want to get all the terms with t on one side of the equation, and then everything else on the other side of the equation. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to multiply, or I'm going to subtract both sides by 3t. Okay. And the reason I'm subtracting both sides by 3t, I'm going to get rid of the 3t on that side. I get -7 equals 2t. Okay. We're actually very close to solving for t here. I want to get t alone. Okay. But t right now is being multiplied by 2. So in order to get t alone, I've got to do the opposite of multiplying by 2. And the opposite of multiplying by 2 is dividing by 2. So I'm going to divide by 2. So I get t equals -7/2. If what I did makes absolutely no sense to you, don't even begin to worry about it. You don't have to do it this way. In fact, I don't recommend doing it this way. Okay, you can ignore everything that I just said here as far as the algebraic solution to this equation. Ignore it all. I recommend it. Students get tripped up on algebraic operations. Stay away from it. Okay, in general. But here we can solve for t, and we know that t equals -7/2. Okay. Then to find what 6t is, that would be 6 times -7/2, which is t. Okay. Let's simplify that. That would give us here we can rewrite this as rewrite 6 as a fraction, which I think I'm inclined to do. Multiply across the numerator. 6 times -7 is -42. Multiply across the denominator over 2. Simplified, -42/2 is -21, which is answer choice C. Once again, confirmed with the algebra. Okay. Again, if that method made no sense, don't worry about it. You don't have to do it that way. But if you're inclined to do it, just remember the golden rule of algebra, which is whatever you do to one side of the equation, you have to do the other side of the equation. And then when you're isolating variable, put all the terms with that one variable that you want to isolate on one side and put everything else on the other side. Okay, there I did it. I debated long and hard whether to even show you any algebra. If anything, maybe by showing you the algebra I've showed you and that made no sense to you, I've explained why you shouldn't do it. And if I did that, that's probably the best thing I could do for you. You just don't need it for the TSI. Okay.